Hello everybody, it's your non-binary pal E.V.A here. So, I have been making comics for many years and shared all of them for everyone to read. Some were short stories and one-offs, and the rest were part of my bigger comic universe of gateways, those being the Streets of Dysteria, Haikyuu's Magical World, and of course, gateways. And it's those first two that I want to talk about. 2025 was a pretty big year for me, mentally, and it led to me looking back at my stories, both current and upcoming, and thinking about how they weren't really what I wanted them to be anymore. This obviously was really easy for the stories that are still in their concept phase, but the ones I was working on, excluding gateways, I had to make a pretty big decision for them. That's what this update is about. And I'm going to start with the easier news. I am going to be revising the first few chapters of Mysteries of Dysteria. It's been a long time since I made those chapters, and I didn't think I would need to, but I've changed some things about the story and the overall lore, and even though they're not that big of a change, a revision is necessary in order to make the story coherent. Also, I can fix the dialogue, because it's pretty rough, and the art. Yikes. And I can finally give the characters consistent designs. Wow. And not redesign them every chapter. I plan on just revising the first 3 chapters and making some very small changes to the others, just as far as just adjusting some of the dialogue in the pages. After that, I'll continue on to chapter 6 as planned. Chapter 5 is already done, but I'm going to go ahead and wait to post that until I have the revised chapters out. That way, the small little tweaks I've made to chapter 5 will make more sense. And now for the bigger news that has to do with my other story, Haikyuu's Magical World. This story, since the start of making it, has been such a pain for many reasons. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but there was actually another version of this story before the current one that's out, and I even got far enough into it to make a few pages. I then promptly scrapped that and started again a couple years later. At first, I thought everything was good, but as I kept working on it, it just felt more and more like a chore to work on. I had to fight with myself to finish the latest chapter. It was a bit of a nightmare. I had to step back from it for a while to think about why that was, and in the end, I came up with 3 big reasons. And it's those reasons that have led me to the conclusion that I, once again, need to start from the beginning for the story and create a whole new version of it. I'm sincerely sorry to anyone who was a fan of the story previously, but I really want to give the story a fresh start and make it a comic that I feel satisfied with and that I can work on and have sincere fun with. So now I'll talk about the 3 big reasons that led me here. Reason number 1, art style led to burnout. Like I talked about before, working on that last chapter was really hard for me, and the main reason was because I was really struggling with burnout, specifically for this comic. I was working on Dysteria at the time and I had no issue with that, so I think something with the art style, and probably the designs too, led me to that. This one I don't have a concrete solution for yet. I suspect I'm going to have to work with that one for a bit. Reason number 2, characters. And I'll go ahead and start with one specific character in this reason. In writing, there is a saying called kill your darlings, where basically even though you might really like a concept or a character, if it doesn't fit your story, you gotta toss it. For me, I feel like a saying that works better is to take out the troublemakers, because I've run into this problem where I feel like this character or concept is really important to the story, but it is really just a pain to write and could easily be scrapped. So, bye Rin. Never figured out how to write you. Rin was always very bland from the beginning, never had a character of her own other than just being around Haikyuu, and there are plenty of other characters already in the story, so this helps it feel much less bloated and more focused. There's a couple of other characters I had planned that I will probably end up scrapping or giving a more of a minor role, but this will give me the chance to really develop the characters I'm already passionate about. Obviously Haikyuu, who I already have tons of new plans for, and her adopted family Masaki and Kaichi, but there are 2 other very important characters I'm excited to include, Yasuo Sone and Satoshi Masanori. Both of these characters were actually in the story previously, but had very small roles. Over the past year, I've been developing them a lot more, and now they're full-blown characters ready to be in the main cast. I plan on making a video talking about the characters in detail, but for a little snippet on who these guys are, they're both clan leaders like Kaichi. Yasuo is an Aka that uses wind magi and is very fun and happy and hates conflict, and Satoshi is a Yojai that uses petal magi and is very confident, flirty, and competitive. The 2 of them are boyfriends, and both of them, yes, both of them, are Kaichi's love interests. That's right, in return for allowing me to restart this story, I give you a gay polyamorous throuple. And now for the 3rd and probably biggest reason. the story itself just kind of sucked. I wrote it when I was a lot younger, and it was one of the first world-building heavy projects I ever made. Despite all the love I put into the world, the plot kind of had not really anything to do with that. If you really want to know what the basic plot was, here it is. Years ago, there were these heroes that I called paladins, and they stopped this demon from destroying their world, but in order to do so, they had to take the magi out of their bodies, leading to them dying, and placing those magi into different things. The first two being in objects, while the other two were placed inside of people, essentially reincarnating them, but also not really. Those two were Haiku and Rin, and the whole plot was focused around finding these magi in order to use them as plot MacGuffins to stop the evil cult. Did I establish how any of that would have been possible in this world? No, not at all. As I've gotten better in my writing, the whole concept just felt more and more thrown together, which it was. And the whole reincarnation thing, I'm already doing that with another one of my stories, and it fits much better there. So I had to scrap it mainly for that. Masaki and Kaichi, who I'd spent so much time setting up at the beginning, weren't even main characters because they dipped out after the beginning and we didn't see them until the end. And I'm very glad to be starting the story over again. Now, it's going to take me a while before I start the comic, mainly because I want to take my time with it this time. I want to get to a point where I can really be happy with almost everything about it and actually be excited to draw and share it. That's why Gateways has been so fun for me to work on, because I took literal years to let it develop to the point where I had to kind of force myself to just go ahead and start drawing it already once I made the character redesigns, because I was finally ready. Now, it's definitely not going to take me that long since I'm not starting from scratch, but it's going to be a bit. So for now, I'll be sharing the development process here through talking about them and showing them in my art, and maybe even sharing the new concept art. If that sounds cool, feel free to subscribe. I'm super excited to restart Haiku's Magical World and make it something I'm really proud of. I also plan on this being a more mature story for a more adult audience, so just be aware of that. That's not all as far as announcements, actually. I have a couple others pertaining to the channel. First, the upload schedule will be the same, and I'll be making the same type of videos. I do plan on making some bigger videos and projects, but with how my ADHD and schedule is, we will see about that. One of the type of videos I like to make is OC videos, whether I'm redesigning them or talking about them for the first time. But since there's quite a bit of time between me making the art and making the video, what has ended up happening is me making even more changes or updates to the characters I share soon after sharing their old version. So I want to start making little update videos and posts going over some of the changes I made in the past months or so. I might throw them into videos about new characters to the channel or whenever I make an artwork about them. That way I can keep everyone up to date about them. I also really want to make an OC archive at some point, so that will make it easier. In the same vein as my OCs, I'm going to challenge myself to make a short animation about my characters every month this year, with whatever audio is trending or just with what I want. I'm going to post them as shorts, but because I actually don't like shorts and I'm only doing that for the algorithm, I'll also post them as normal videos. Last thing is that I got approved to be in an animation certification program, and I'm essentially a college student now. The workload won't be as big as traditional college programs, but it might lead to me having some more break weeks, but we will see. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you for staying tuned for this short, but just a video full of updates. And yeah, very excited to share the new Haiku's Magical World and also be sharing some stuff I'm going to be revising for in Mysteries of Dysteria. And yeah, I will see you all there with whatever happens next. And Happy New Year 2026. Okay, bye.